Good morning and welcome to another week of Call to Adventure. I'm Heather Martinson. I'm the founder of Celebration Education, where we provide adventure which inspires creativity and leads to possibility. I've got a lot to talk about today, including what we're doing this week at Celebration Education, what you can do at home to complement what we do in the class, and I'm going to share with you how we make our adventures come to life. And then I've got a really big announcement at the end, so you're going to want to stick around to the end. However, you don't have to listen through. You don't have to watch the whole thing. You can just turn it on and listen and go about your work, and you'll hear what's going on. I'm sitting low in the frame today because I really wanted to show off the mural that we have here at the Yucaipa Learning Center. It was put up by one of our teachers last year during our Harry Potter year, and I thought it would go nicely with our Leonardo da Vinci year this year also. So enjoy the mural behind me. I sure do. All right, so for our adventures this week, our week's topic was on air. We introduced to the students the concept of the four classic elements of air, fire, earth, and water. And then so we're spending this whole week on air itself. And air, for us, it translated into a whole week studying weather. So, and air. We are, we started off the day yesterday at Leonardo's workshop. They made art. They used air to make a painting. Then they discovered properties of air with balloons and pinwheel, and how air resistance does cause things to fall at different rate of speed. We looked at the weather for the day. We played Weather Jeopardy. We had the students write some antonyms. Then the students graphed some temperatures. And then for our Genius Principle this week, it's talking about, we did a 5 senses of the 4 seasons experience. Then for our big activity this week, we brought in helium balloons, and the students were to predict where the helium balloon would go when we let it go. And we attached a postcard to each balloon and we let them go. And hopefully the balloon with its postcard will be found by somebody who will drop the postcard in the mail and let us know where they found it. So that'd be a really fun experiment to see if it comes back and where it landed. Tomorrow we're having a meetup at Disneyland. The students are going to learn about giant redwoods. They're going to follow some animal tracks, and they're going to learn about some Forest Service equipment that's used here in California. Tomorrow also we have a field trip up in Oak Glen. It is a nature walk and discovery at the Wildlands Conservancy Oak Glen Preserve, and that's $5 per family. So you're still welcome to join that field trip. For Minecraft this week, the students are going to do a weather quiz game. They're going to experience some weather station equipment, and they're going to make a diagram of Earth's atmosphere. The build challenge on Minecraft this week is to make different types of clouds. So they're actually going to be building in the sky this week, so that should be fun for them. What you can do at home to complement the topic, obviously you can chart the weather for a week or two and keep track of not just the temperature, but how sunny it is, where there's clouds, the wind direction, the barometric pressure, all these different things that play into our weather, and have them at the end of the week or two create a chart or a graph or some type of way of pulling all the information together and showing what you discover about the weather. And let's see, you can, here's a nice one. Have the students or have your child go outside and look at the clouds and start at cloud gaze for a while and write about observations. Maybe they can find a story in the formation of the clouds and what the clouds represent, and have them, they can sketch, make it sketches, and then also write in their notebook about it. Another thing is the children can prepare their own weather report. They get to be the weatherman. They get to tell the weather. Have them collect the information and put it together and do their own weather reports. Another fun thing for them to do would be to watch a sunset and pretend that they're sitting next to a blind person and describe the sunset to this blind person, everything that they see, how it makes them feel, that sort of thing. And they can record that description in their notebooks as well. So any of these things that your children do at home, have them bring them back to class. We would love to see what you guys are doing at home and let the other students see how well they're doing at home as well. Anything that the child completes and feels good about, or not even complete, but just feels good about, anything they want to show off that they're doing at home, we love to have it come back and show it off. So please do. So our upcoming events in the next couple of weeks, tomorrow, like I said, is the Disneyland meetup. They're meeting just inside the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail, which is in California Adventure. The study guide is already posted on the Disney Schooling group. The meetup is free, but you do need to have your own admission to the park. Check the links in the description for this to see I'm distracted by somebody putting a bunch of icons. Sorry. So check the description for the links to the Disney meetups. Also, tomorrow is a nature walk. Again, $5 per family. You can still sign up today. Our next Wednesday is a field trip to the Natural History Museum in Los Angeles. It's $6 per student, $12 for adult. And you do need to sign up for that now in order to get into the thing for next week, because I need to let the families, the museum know how many families are coming. So don't wait on this one. Sign up for next week, sign up for it today. All right. All right. Now to our philosophy and practice of the week. We're talking about the weekly topic introduction. What we do in our workshop classes every week. You don't have to do our workshop classes to introduce a topic to your children. So I'm going to tell you how we do it, and you can take what you want and adapt it for yourself at home if you like. So to start off, a lot of times teachers and even parents, when they see children doing worksheets and all the little busy work, sometimes it just warms their heart and makes them feel good that they're doing their school. But the truth is, that is actually a false sense of security, because all of the busy work is not the type of thing that's going to be memorable for your child. All the paperwork and worksheets is just keeping them occupied, keeping them attention. It's tactics that they use in the traditional schools and in the public schools, because that's what you got to do when you have 30 kids in a classroom. But when you're working one-on-one with kids, you have the opportunity to do more. You can do more dynamic learning, and that's what we're going to be talking about here. And to me, when I get excited, and what warms my heart to see children up and moving and doing, not the worksheets. The worksheets drive me nuts. So, okay. Of course, you're familiar with the William Buster Keats quote that says, "Education is not the filling of a pail, but lighting of a fire." We seek to light the fire. When we introduce a topic to the students, we want to make it interesting for them, so they're going to want to learn more. Worksheets is like pouring water in a leaky bucket. They're going to forget the information and they're not going to care about it. But we want the learning to be meaningful, joyful, long-lasting, leave them wanting more. And they will. They'll go home, and we hope that they'll go home and learn more. So introducing the weekly topics to the students, we use a variety of interesting things, because you never know what's going to spark interest. For example, many years ago, my oldest son, we were studying Southeast Asia, and we picked up a few books at the library, and he read this one little sidebar in this book, and it was talking about a sword called a kris. And he was intrigued by the sword. He was intrigued by how it's a it's deep in their culture and how the sword is made. He just really studied the sword itself for a while. And he went from there. He didn't stop with that one sword. He soon found other cultures that had meaningful weapons in their cultures as well. And it kind of sparked this interest that it went on for, I don't know, several weeks, months even. And even to the point where years later, there was a unique weapon that I came across, and my son goes, oh yeah, that is, and he could name it and tell me where it's from and what it meant to the country that it was from. And I was just like, okay, this guy became a genius in one small area, but because he took an interest and he learned cultures, he learned, the science of making things. It was just an adventure for him that it turned into. So it was just a small spark of a sidebar that grew into this flame of learning about culture and history. I love it. So to help and aid the flames of learning, we have in our yearly theme every year, we have each week a different topic to introduce to the students. And so for us, that's 30 topics in the school year. For example, this year with Leonardo da Vinci, we've done Italy and Renaissance already. We're heading toward art history. We're doing nature right now. We're going to be doing flying machines. All of these are topics that fall into this theme for the year. But then each topic, we introduce it through multi-sensory experiences that the students will enjoy. So it's usually eight things that we use for to introduce the lesson. There's the main key points that we introduce several different pieces of information. A lot of times it's the most basic information about the topic, and we'll introduce it through a matching game or a timeline activity, something where the students are actually organizing the information, putting into something that makes sense. And they have to read what it is and match it or whatever they need to do. For example, when a couple years ago when we did a lesson on boats, the students were matching the famous explorers to their boats. And identifying what type of boat that was. So that's the main key points. We usually do some type of art or craft, and the key point for this art or craft for the boats week, the key point was a paddle steamer is a steamship or riverboat powered by a steam engine that drives paddle wheels to propel the craft through the water. And with that key point, then the students went and made their own paddle boats. Then we have a collaborative activity each week. For the boats week, the key point for this collaborative activity was the desire for Eastern spices and other riches were the impetus for the age of exploration. And so then the students had a map activity. We gave them little tiny samples of various spices, and they had to map what countries these spices originally came from, and they placed them on a world map. Then for language arts, we had a key point that was about the activity was a message in a bottle. Each of the students wrote a message in the bottle. The key point was about when John F. Kennedy, it was a story. When he was marooned on an island during the war, he wrote a message on a coconut shell, and that coconut shell was eventually found and helped in them getting rescued, him and his crew. So the students wrote messages in the bottle. Then for the math and logic activity for the boats, the key point was about the Earth's 24 time zones. And then they pretended like they were on a cruise ship, and there's a schedule of activities and several different things that they could choose from and do. And they each had to make their own schedule and what they're gonna do. But it wasn't just regular, they had to use it in 24-hour clock time, so like military time, that they had to express their schedule in. So it's more fun and interesting this way to do your math. Our big activity that week was, again, about the paddle boats, because then the students got to take the paddle boats that they made and they raced them. So that was fun. And of course, then you could learn from how your boat did. If we had time, we would let the students go back and change their paddle boats and re-enter the race. We always end our activity, our topic introduction with some type of movement activity. And the key point for this one was ocean explorers would travel from island to island for safety and supplies. It would be dangerous if they were in the ocean too long without finding land. And so it was this activity where they had to race by stopping from one island to another. The children were running around, but they had to stop at the different islands. And I think they actually had to move the islands because it was too far from one space to another, so they'd have to pick up their island and throw it down. So it was just fun. So these are not the traditional school activities. They're more interesting. It's not lecture, it's not reading assignments, it's not worksheets, it's child involved, it's open-ended, and it's even child-led. So we did not tell them how to make the paddle boats. We provided some materials and some inspiration, but they had to come up with a design on their own. We did not tell them how long their message in the bottle had to be. That was up for them to determine to their satisfaction. Sometimes in the writing, children have a hard time actually physically putting pen to paper or pencil. And so we will help them and we will let them dictate to us so they can get everything out and said that they want to say. We did not tell them what's going to go on their cruise ship schedule. There was not a set outcome in any of these activities that they're doing. They're all each working at their own level and to their own satisfaction. It's really actually powerful because the students take charge of their learning and they do very well. They enjoy it and they're interested in what they're doing. So at Celebration Education, when we introduce a topic, a 2.5-hour class each week, and with the idea that we're going to introduce this topic to the students, and then they're going to go out and go home and want to do more and to play with the topic. See, the attentive brain needs novelty, contrast, and change. So each of our activities during our lesson, it takes only about 15 minutes at a time. And then unless the students themselves, the group, wants to take longer to explore the topic or the activity. And that's fine. But we don't require the students to shut up and sit down, but we actually encourage them to get up and do. That's what we're all about. Excuse me. So our weekly challenge for you today is to try to integrate more school subjects into what you do. Some people call it unit studies, where if you're, for example, studying boats, find out how you can integrate your reading, writing, math, social studies, history, see how if you can put everything in the context of one topic and see how that goes for you. There are certainly unit studies out there on the internet that you can find that you can use for just about every topic. I encourage you to do that. And one reason why we like to integrate all the subjects is because it's more interesting, more fun, more natural, organic for the students. For example, if you were to eat a cake, one ingredient at a time, it would be very distasteful. And that's essentially what we're doing when we're breaking up learning into all the different school subjects. Children would rather eat or enjoy all of it mixed in together it's a lot more organic and it's more compatible with the way the brain learns. So that's why we let them eat the whole cake at once, not one ingredient at a time, because it's a lot more fun that way. Okay, so for our big announcement for today, I am working on Okay, so you probably know I recently opened a learning center in Santa Ana. It took all of my money to get this thing open, and now that we're open and going, we're just like right at break even. However, most of our students are coming to us through the charter schools, and the charter schools are being late in paying. I'm not expecting to be paid again until late December, and I'm feeling frustrated and concerned. I need to pay my bills right now. So I want you guys to help me, but I'm going to give you something. Basically what I'm doing is I'm going to be offering my Monday through Thursday classes at Santa Ana location at half off. I just want to get my bills covered. I'm not going to pay me. So if you guys can help me out, I'm helping you out. This is a half off thing. This is cash up front, not through charter schools. I need the money now. That's my point. So so give me a call. My phone number is 909-446-5962, and I'll help you get on there. It's not even on our website yet. I'm going to be putting it up today and promoting it and letting everyone know what we're doing. But I love to have your kids come. It's only limited space. I only need so much money, and then I'm going to go back to full price again. So talk to me now if you want in on this right now. And it's only going to be through the end of this through the end of December. So, but it's a great opportunity. We're going to have a lot of fun doing the themes, the Leonardo da Vinci theme. So visit Celebration Education to learn more about what we do and to register for our adventures. And that's it for this week's Call to Adventure. Join me again next Tuesday at 6:45 a.m. I'm Heather Martinson at Celebration Education, where we've been learning outside the box since 2006. Bye. I'll see you next time.